playing as well as they are, you will not want to miss seeing their next home game in person. Baltimore comes to town for the first time to Metro Stadium. It's the next New York night home game. Call 1-800-GO-KNIGHTS. Get your tickets now. Or you can listen live here. Oh, look at Parkeet Scholl! This is ridiculous! That is another touchdown! Parkeet Scholl! I'm speechless. I can't believe this guy. I mean, look at the burst of speed at the second level.
4 down linemen for Louisville in what appears to be a 4-2-5 set. Coleman back to pass. Coleman pump fake, and then a sack. Rick O'Reilly with the big play to force the Houston punter on the field for the first time tonight. And for O'Reilly, that's sack number 7 on the season. O'Reilly, a monster on the inside. Big play there for the Louisville defense.
First and 10 of the 26, Marconi dropping the throw. And Marconi against the late blitz will go deep down the field, and that one is caught! Pass Grayson Abarazzo. Shigeki can't catch him. It's a Maurer touchdown. The 3rd touchdown for Abarazzo in the game. And it just looked like the Legend defense kind of got tangled up. And Grayson went for the pick, and he over pursued.
That was just an outstanding throw by Rocco. I mean, he's 6'5", I believe. Yeah, he's 6'5", 225, long, rangy, strong, quick arm.
Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli going to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Kendall Gilbert, and Baltimore's on the board. Give me some of that crab call. Baltimore cuts into their early deficit. Rastelli's got 6 touchdowns and no picks in the last 6 quarters of action. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Christensen will pass again. They are staying away from Kim. That ball, oh, it's belted up in the air, and Nick Nitro picked it off. That is tremendous defensive effort. Who dove in front of that pass? That was Aquantis Shine, who dove in front of the pass and knocked the ball up in the air. That was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a long time out of Aquantis Shine. A.J. Levy, 6 seasons, all with Sioux Falls, the strong safety number 42. Chris Dodd, free safety in his 3rd season, wears number 49. Alex Parker and Nick Fargo, the linebackers, 91 and 92 respectively, as Rahman steps up in the pocket. Rahman gonna air it out deep, and Thomas Rahman's pass intercepted off the deflection by A.J. Levy. What a play by the veteran.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. Levy and Dodd, probably the best safety combo here in the SFL. And Levy, a longtime veteran leader of this defense, comes away with his 6th interception.
So 4 receivers set here on 3rd down and goal. I guess this won't be a run. Christensen in the gun, looking towards the end zone, firing into the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. The Pride extend their lead.
What a throw by Christensen again. Has all day to throw on a post route. And that one, I mean, it's not bad coverage by Chappelle. It's just a perfect throw and a great route by
3rd down and 2 from the 12. Go Knights rings throughout Metro Stadium. St. Clair to pass. St. Clair to the end zone. Intercepted. Oh no. Joe Lynn picked it off. You gotta be kidding me. And 1 first down will give the Crabs yet another 1-possession victory over New York. 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Overstreet, right side. Overstreet makes one man miss, and then another. And here goes Overstreet off to the races. Down the sideline, 20. He will be not tackled, and he scores again. 17th touchdown for David Overstreet, and Louisville has scored 19 straight points. And Overstreet is checking on the pulse of Oklahoma City.
Week 8 SFL action starts tonight here this evening from the I in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as the Florida Storm play host to the Vancouver Legion. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs, and joining me in the booth is the man that doesn't know how to build a snowman. He's Gerald Smith. With us on stats tonight, Stephen Hacker and Ricky Robinson. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Gerald, how you doing tonight?
Nice, warm Florida weather. Doing great.
Beautiful, warm Florida weather tonight. 12 previous meetings between these two teams. Florida with 7 wins, Vancouver with 5. Tonight they face off for lucky matchup number 13 in what is sure to be a hard-fought playoff atmosphere battle. Their season started off very differently, though. Vancouver, they went 3-1 through their first 4 games. Florida had a franchise-worst 0-4 start. Since that time, Vancouver lost 2, Florida won 2. Both teams have played against tough opponents. They're both top 3 in strength of schedule and strength of victory. So tonight will be a great litmus test for them both as they face off against each other. Will Vancouver get back to a winning record, or will Florida win their 3rd straight game?
It will come down to each team's defense and protecting the football on offense. Both teams are ranked top 5 in total defense. Vancouver has the number 2 rush defense and the number 2 scoring defense coming into week 8, while Florida is ranked number 1 in pass defense and sit at number 10 in points allowed. Both teams have struggled in turnovers on offense and are near the bottom in turnover differential. Each team, whichever team can limit the mistakes on offense along with forcing turnovers on defense, stands the best chance to come away victorious.
All right, well, as Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and it's on the field. So we'll get down to the field, get this one started. Chance to win to kick it off for Vancouver. Back to receive Optimus Klein for Florida. And he returns it all the way up to the 26-yard line, and that is where the Florida Storm, wearing their championship edition uniforms, which oddly resemble Vancouver colors. So do not be confused. The gold helmets, blue jerseys, and gold pants tonight are Florida, and the all whites are Vancouver on the road. Ron Cochran at quarterback, the 12-season vet, all with the Florida Storm on the field to get things going. Swings this one out to Charlie Beletsky, the halfback. Gets a gain of 3. The rest of the starting offense for the Florida Storm, the wide receivers are Stephen Bush, Art Vandelay, E.J. Minson, and Optimus Klein. The tight ends, Veridin Zarkov and Ron Haynes. At guard, Finley James and Leroy James at the left and right positions, respectively. 2nd down and 7. 4 wide receivers set. Ron Cochran in the gun. And a free play as a Legion member jumps off sides.
Whoa.
The ball is picked off. An end-over-end duck was taken away by Mark Lopez. We'll see the call on the field, but it looks like that one's coming back.
Yeah, and look, and you know, Ron Cochran did what you should do in those situations. Just chuck it down the field and hope for a big play. It didn't work out. Of course, he had a defender in his face, too. He didn't, I think he just threw it up there.
It is indeed an offsides call. Number 68 of Vancouver, that's Gerald Giudice, who got a little jumpy. 2nd down and 2 now. Ball is handed off to Bolesky. Tries to get outside, can't do it. Wrapped up and brought down by Zach Lay, the starting defense for Vancouver. The defensive line is Achilles Papatonis, Cabron Womack, and Gerald Giudice. The linebackers are Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields IV, and Marquise Reed. The secondary is made up of Major Key, Michael Lister, Zach Lay, who just got that tackle, Mark Lopez, who got the pick that wasn't a pick, Will Stern, and Drew Hamilton. 3rd down and 3. Cochran to throw on a short drop. Pressure hits him, but he still completes the pass over the middle. And that one is good for a 1st down up to the 48.
Yeah, and looking at our monitor over here, they did a swim move right up the middle and got right on Ron Cochran, but he was able to get it out and find his guy, get the ball off just in time and get to his receiver to reset the downs.
All the wide receivers up to the top. Cochran throws up that direction and connects with Stephen Bush. Gains 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4. And, Gerald, we were talking about it pregame with these two teams. The records don't really reflect it, but two of the top teams in the league performance-wise are expecting one heck of a show tonight.
Yeah, and especially on a defensive side. I mean, these guys are pretty stellar defensively, and they're not allowing a lot of points per game either. Vancouver sits at number 2 in points allowed thus far this season.
Cochran on the play action goes down to the bottom, and that one right into the hands of his intended target. And the pass bobbled and dropped by E.J. Minson.
Yeah, and those aren't typically balls that E.J. Minson drops. He's looking to get that 40, second catch of the season thus far and leading the team. I mean, he just doesn't drop those.
84 yards on 6 receptions in their win over Minnesota last week. Drop that one, and that one's nearly taken away, and that would have gone all the way back to the house. Michael Lister jumping right in front of it brings this drive to a close.
Yeah, if he would have not tried to knock it down and put both his hands on, that's pick 6. And he could have put his team up by, a touchdown early on.
So on the field to punt, Brian Patrick. Oh, excuse me, no. See, these colors are going to throw me off all night. Marcus Agrippa on to punt for the Florida Storm. I think Mighty did this on purpose, just to toy with everybody. Punt drops down at the 9, rolls to the 1, and comes to a grinding halt at the 3-yard line. A great punt by Agrippa to put Vancouver back against their own goal line.
And that's why Agrippa has been a 6-time All-Star for making punts like that all throughout his career. 6 an All-Star every season in the league, and I'm sure he's going to be one of the finalists to make it again for a punter this season.
49-yard punt for Agrippa. And Christian Brown in at quarterback for the Vancouver Legion. He's going to start with a handoff to Robert Redford. We'll probably see a heavy dose of tonight. Starting offense for Vancouver is Christian Brown and Robert Redford, along with fullback Sawyer Stern. The wide receivers are Justice Blackwell, Hector Huxley, Brett Killian, and one of the top receivers in the league receiving yards wise, Chris Curtis. The tight end is James Walters at left tackle and left guard, Mike Coverson and Michael Percoco. Redford with a huge burst up the middle. Gains his way all the way up to the 16-yard line, 1st down.
Yeah, and look, and that's where if you're going to attack the Florida defense, that's a section of their defense that you want to attack if you're Vancouver. Florida is ranked 2nd to last in run defense through the season thus far. But is it because they have the best passing attack? Pass defense in the league as well, that people feel like they can run on them. So, if that was a thing, I would say, hey, stick it to the ground with Redford. He's a guy that can actually carry the team.
And another flag. Second penalty on the second drive of the game as that passes over the middle to Justice Blackwell. We'll check the flag. It looked like an offsides by Florida.
Neutral zone infraction, number 52.
And indeed it was, so that penalty will indeed be declined. They'll accept the yardage and get a fresh set of downs.
These I think I agree with you. These uniforms are kind of messing with my eyes a little bit. I want to say that, hey, what Florida's got on in these championship uniforms here just so similar to what Vancouver usually wears at home. And it's kind of messing with me right now.
It's going to be throwing us all off. Soon we'll be calling them the Alaska Storm, and that'll make things even weirder. 1st down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Brown swings that one down to Sawyer Stern, the fullback, getting 9.9 up to the 39-yard line. The starting defense for these imposter Florida Storm members. I'm just kidding. They're not imposters. They're just colorfully decorated. The defensive line, Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, Alex Dominguez, and Pete Mitchell. The linebackers, Stephen Black, Ryan Tobin, and Aaron Gooden. The secondary we'll get to after this play. Robert Redford, the 1st down and more, crossing midfield and tackled at the 48-yard line by a member of that secondary. which is made up of Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, Adam Jones, Adrian Blaine, and Andrew Francis, who just made that tackle.
All right, and he had very, very good blocking here, and nobody touched him. Probably for 10 out of those 13 yards he gained on that run.
First down and 10 in Florida territory. Robert Redford with 25 yards on the day. He came into the game with a very ominous 138 carries for 666 yards, 7 touchdowns. All 3 of those stats top 10 in the league. Redford takes the handoff once again, gets a few yards before being touched, tackled after a gain of 4.
Look, and he's getting yard. He's have gotten positive yardage each and every run. It's his 4th carry. He's got a little over 30 yards. Thus far for 8 yards a carry. So I think so far, I think that's what Vancouver might be looking to do here, is just to kind of not lean too much on Redford, but just enough to kind of get themselves in a good situation.
Christian Brown to throw on 2nd down and gets that one out to Redford, who looked like he might be slowing down a little bit on this drive, Gerald. No gain on that play.
Yeah, it looked like he was a little bit slow. He might be, I don't know if can you get gas this early in the game? We're only 6 minutes in. Did he?
When you're used over and over and over, he's touched the ball on darn near every snap so far. See what they do on 3rd down. Trips up to the top, one receiver down to the bottom. Brown to throw, deep drop, going deep down the right-hand sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown, Justice Blackwell with the catch, and 6 points on the board for Vancouver, 44 yards.
Justice Blackwell just ran right by the defender, covering him and Ryan Davidson. And I don't know what Ryan Davidson was looking at, because he was close to 10 yards behind Justice Blackwell when he caught the ball.
I can tell you exactly what he was looking at. The back of Blackwell's jersey.
He just I don't know if he just let him run right by him, but right pre-snap, I don't know if he was looking in the backfield. Probably, it kind of makes you wonder at times in situations like that, right? If the defense actually knows that they're kind of statistically deficient in the run game, and he's looking for a potential Redford run and looking in the backfield, not expecting them to throw, with how stellar they've been, defensively on, covering the pass.
Extra point is up and good. That's Justice Blackwell's first receiving touchdown of the season. And it's exactly what Vancouver needs from him to get back into the winning column. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, you can visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. 8 weeks into season 20. Crazy.
That's a whole lot of games.
Indeed it is.
20 seasons.
10 years. I'm good at math when you only have to divide by 2. Pass by Ron Cochran over the middle is complete for a gain of 5. I was going to say short gain, but Bush actually able to gain 5 on that one, 2nd down.
Yeah, is 5 considered short?
No, it's medium, in fact.
So you could have said a medium gain, or just a gain of 5. Math,
Yeah.
5 yards. 5 minus 10 is 5.
I said I was good at dividing by 2. That's where the math skills come to a close. Empty backfield now for Florida. Cochran with a 5-step drop. Look, I counted to 5. Gets that pass complete to Charlie Beletsky. He'll get the first down, and surprisingly, they'll go into the hurry-up.
Yeah, look, and they must like something here.
Cochran up top. Gets another completion, another gain of 4. They'll stay with this look.
And they have Beletsky split out wide right here as well.
And they go right back up top to Bush once again and into the hurry-up on 3rd down and 3. They've been getting at least 3 on each of these plays, so see if it still pays off for them again. Oh, this time they go over the middle. That one works, getting it to Ron Haynes. They'll gain about 12 on that one.
Yeah, 12, 13 yards on there.
give or take again with the maths. Stephen Bush gets up to the 34. He'll step out of bounds and give everybody a moment to catch back up. 2nd down and 2 after that gain of 8.
Yeah, decided to give everybody a breather after a gain of 8. And here they are. Look, they got themselves into pretty close to field goal range right here, running the hurry up and what they had. I mean, and they were, producing yards. Everything in that set, in that hurry up was positive. And I'm actually pretty surprised, even with them going out of bounds, that they actually stopped doing it. With the personnel that they seen out there that Vancouver had, it seemed like they had, everything was in their favor, especially the matchups.
2 backs now in the backfield for Florida. That run good up the middle to the 28-yard line. Beletsky gets the handoff, gets the first down. Charlie Beletsky, so far in the season, he hasn't had a high stat season quite yet, Gerald. 106 carries, 423 yards. It's averaging 4 yards a carry. That's a very respectable number. 4 touchdowns. Be interesting to see if they get him more involved as the season goes on. Play action by Cochran. He'll go down the right sideline. End zone touchdown, Florida. Stephen Bush with the catch. Good from 28 yards out for 6.
And it was a very interesting throw from Ron Cochran, right? I mean, Stephen Bush had a step on the defender, and hopefully we can see here on the replay where the placement of the ball exactly was. And he just, it's almost like he threw it on his weird back shoulder, and it just didn't, the defender didn't even expect the ball to be thrown there, and he was able to just grab it off his back shoulder and take it in for a score and hopefully tie this ball game up.
It was funny, kind of funny watching Bush make that catch. He just kind of turned around, caught it back shoulder like it was no big deal, didn't even care that the defender's right on his heels. He's like, nah, I'm just going to catch this, get the touchdown, don't mind me. And maybe Sneed with the extra point. It's up and good, tied at 7.
And maybe that was part of him actually, securing the catch and not even alerting the defender, right? Him just making any kind of an indication that the ball was coming his way until right at the last second, just stuck his arm out and grabbed it. The defender had no idea. You see a lot of DBs react to the receiver, anticipating the ball coming his way, and maybe it was in Bush's favor, right? Just reacting at the last second, and the defender didn't have, no way of knowing the ball was coming in his direction.
8 plays, 74 yards, took 2 minutes off the clock. One good touchdown deserves another, I suppose. So all tied up here in Florida at 7 apiece. See what Vancouver can do on this one. Brown was perfect on his opening drive, 4-4 for 67 yards and a touchdown pass. Justice Blackwell, the only receiver to get his hands on a ball, but also got a pass out to Robert Redford and Sawyer Stern. Redford, wow. There's the speed he had at the beginning of last drive. Gets another carry. Good for 7. Almost 40 yards already.
He had Ryan Davison all confused. He was going in there, put the spin move. Ryan Davison was trying to tackle a ghost after he hit that spin move.
A modest 158.3 quarterback rating for Christian Brown. Perfection. Redford gets the handoff again, gets past the line to gain, and is brought down at the 36-yard line. First down for Vancouver. Again.
And we're gonna see. I'm sitting there looking at these drive summaries here. Every single drive so far by these teams have been 8 plays. 8 plays for Florida punt. 8 plays for Vancouver touchdown. 8 plays for Florida touchdown.
That one over the middle is incomplete. Was trying to get it out to James Walters, the tight end, but another bobbled pass. This one goes down to the turf.
Yeah, but it looked like they knocked it right out of his hand. Looked like he had it for a split second there. No, yeah, maybe may have had it. Just had a hand in there.
Yeah, just good coverage. Good coverage by Aaron Gooden of Florida, getting his hand in there.
Yeah, the one-time All-Star right there, coming off an All-Star campaign last season, and the way he defended that ball, he's like, hey, I'm probably worthy of an All-Star this season too.
Brown under center, 3 wide receivers in the set. Brown under pressure, gets the pass away, tipped and incomplete. Ryan Tobin, I believe that was Ryan Tobin that got his hand in on the ball. There he is. Cameraman got confused there, I think.
Yeah. Ryan Tobin, I don't know how he didn't grab that. Ryan Tobin, I do believe, was a former safety at one time. Used to have better hands when he was playing, deeper in the secondary. But moving up, he just decided, hey, the prerequisite for you to be in linebacker, you got to develop stone hands.
Brown down the right sideline. Oh, look at that jumping catch. Chris Curtis adding on to his yardage total this season and his touchdown total. Vancouver gets another one on the board.
And it's very unlikely to be happening like this against the #1 pass defense in the league. But Vancouver has gotten a touchdown pass for over 40 yards for the second drive in a row of theirs to put themselves up 6 points.
Chris Curtis, number 3 in the league in receiving yards, coming into the game with just under 700. He's got over 700 now, 4 receiving touchdowns. That also leads the league. The only player with more individual touchdown numbers is Robert Redford with his 7 rushing touchdowns. Having quite the season. Chance to win on for the kick. Mark Salt to hold. Gets the high snap. Kick is up. Kick is good. 14-7 here in Florida. A place where Florida doesn't lose all that often. The Florida Storm have played 173 games in their franchise history. They have only lost here. Well, they've only lost at home 18 times. Some of that was up in Alaska when they were the Alaska Storm, but out of 173 games played, to only lose 18 of them in your home stadium. It's impressive numbers. It's actually third best in the league.
Winning 80% of your games at home that's pretty impressive.
See what Florida can do to answer back as they start this drive off on their own 25-yard line. On some Friday night football. We don't get Friday games every week, Gerald. Nice to end a long work week with some Friday night SFL football.
Definitely.
Charlie Boletsky gets a hand out. Look at those moves. Boletsky all the way up to about midfield. Juking, getting them all the way up past those defenders.
And that's the Charlie Boletsky, right, that we all are used to seeing, from a couple seasons ago with him, having his MVP season. That's the stuff that Florida has missed right there, especially from Boletsky, making him making the moves like that and getting down the field. And, a couple of seasons ago, man, he had, I don't know how many 200-yard rushing games that season, to have, Florida in a huge situation to be successful. So, if they can keep on doing that, man, they're gonna make it tough for Vancouver to come away with a win.
29 yards total on the day. 24 of them came from that carry alone. That one goes nowhere. Second down and 10 from midfield. And the Bullet Boletsky looking to improve those stats this season. And runs like that will get it done.
And look, and this quarterback play out of both these quarterbacks have been great thus far.
Both with triple-digit quarterback ratings still. Cochran throws over the middle and nearly just torpedoes that triple-digit rating. Josh Farnsey gets his hands on the ball, but just like the 53 on the other side of the field, Tobin, who dropped a pick, so did 53 for Vancouver, Josh Farnsey.
Yeah, look, if those linebackers can just, I don't know, put some sort of a sticky substance on their hands, man, they might be able to come away with a lot of those. And
pretty sure that's against the rules, Gerald.
Yeah, but if nobody knows it's there,
no, that doesn't make it okay.
You got
blitz coming and nearly picked off.
You got to get the clear version, right? So it's not so obvious.
Note to Cam, check on the Revs players. Something's sticky in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, so Liam Hammer may or may not have had some sticky substance on his hands for that last catch he made at the one last week. I can't confirm or deny that.
Marcus Agrippa back on to punt for Florida as that drive comes to a close. 15 seconds left in quarter number 1. Agrippa gets it back down to the 10. Let's see if he can get this punt
Holy
to die
smokes.
too. And this one's even better than the last. Look at that, Gerald. It's at the goal line. Your favorite place.
That's a touchback. It's
Nope.
look, but the way he punted that ball, hey, I'm gonna let him slide on this one. I'm gonna let the ref slide on this one too because that was a beautiful punt. Nobody, I don't think I've seen any punter, especially in one game, pin their opponent this far deep in their own territory.
Vancouver starting off at their own 0, says Ricky Robinson in our stats truck, and that one is back to the goal line. Hecking down, and 2nd and 10 from the goal line. Wow, what a weird way for the first quarter to end. But it's how it ends nonetheless. Legion 14, Storm 7. You're watching the Simulation Football League Friday night edition on YouTube.
I'm not so sure he got out of the end zone. That was a generous spot.
I agree. I thought that was a safety, but they spotted it at the goal line again. Pass out of the end zone, giving them some breathing room. Brown connects to Blackwell, and that will set them up with a 3rd down.
At least they got themselves, out of right at the goal line. Now they're, going to be somewhere around the 6.
So 3rd down and 4 now from the 6-yard line. 2 backs in the backfield. They'll hand this one off, and he's not going to get there. Yeah, absolutely level. Look at him celebrating like, yeah, I just did that. You sure did. Stephen Black with a punishing hit. 4th down and 4.
Stephen Black ended that thing of any chance of having any success. He just threw his whole body at that man. What? No!
And
they just gave him a 1st down. I think.
Florida got called for encroachment. They just lined up offsides, completely lined up offsides, and touched the offensive line. Oh, that hurts.
I think it just gave him a 1st down.
Oh yeah, I mean it was 4th and 4. So
wow,
yeah, fresh set of downs up at the 11-yard line.
That's tough.
Well, needless to say, the drive keeps on going. Brown gets that one out to the right, overthrows his target, incomplete. 2nd down.
Yeah, I think Walters kind of got hung up with his own wide receiver teammate there when they were making their cuts in their route. His own teammate bumped him from, reaching his destination on where the ball was going to be. So it just caused the ball to sail past him.
135 yards, 2 touchdowns so far for Christian Brown. Throws this one over the middle. That time he's finally able to connect with James Walters. Gets that one all the way up to the 33. Gain of 22 yards on the play.
Yeah, and Walters just got right in the seam there, just right up the middle. There was a void just right behind the linebackers and before the safeties. And Christian Brown was able to hit him right in stride.
Hashtag throw it to the tight end, says Justin Reside in the chat. I agree. And hey, look, it worked.
22 yards.
Offset eye in the backfield now for the Legion. Swings this one out to Redford with some room to run. Gets up to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, and that's the 10th time Redford has been involved in a play that's his 10th touch. I can't speak this evening. I don't know what the heck is going on.
It's
all these
probably,
THs.
Yeah, letters are hard.
English is hard.
You speak Cajun. Redford gets that handoff and goes nowhere. Tackled right back at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 2.
And this is really short right here too. Like Florida's got to be able to, kind of stand up and put it into this drive because they gave Vancouver second life by jumping off sides on that punt. So, I mean, they got to in this right now and be able to get the ball back because they would have had the ball back in really good field position had they not jumped off sides on that 4th down.
Absolutely. Redford's able to easily get the first down and a little bit more, tackled at the 46-yard line. For those of you who joined us late and are looking at this thinking, wait a second, is Vancouver playing against Vancouver? Nope, Florida's just wearing their championship edition uniforms where they mix in a little bit of gold. Gold helmets, blue jerseys, gold pants, and turquoise sleeves? Cyan sleeves? Very bright blue sleeves. And Vancouver wearing their all whites on the road. Yardage totals so far for both teams. 220 for Vancouver, 125 for the Storm. No sacks, no turnovers yet, Gerald.
Yeah, and that's not it. Almost, it is kind of surprising how these guys had ball security issues. Coming in. Florida's pretty much cleaned up their stuff the last 2 games. Vancouver hasn't really.
Killian getting involved. Gets his first catch of the ball game. The gain of 4 over the middle sets up a 3rd down and manageable 2 from the Florida 45.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Redford run up the middle right here. They were successful last time on 3rd and 2. Why not run it again?
Well, he's averaging 4.7 yards per carry so far tonight and 4.8 on the season. So pretty safe bet. He'll probably get it once again. And does. He gets 4 point, the whole thing, past the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Robert Redford.
45.0 to be exact yards on that carry. That's got his team up 2 scores and 13 points, 14 pinned in the extra point. He got excellent blocking right off that side right there. Sawyer Stern came in and took on the linebacker, and after that he was gone. He just outran everybody else.
Robert Redford with the 45-yard touchdown rush. 97 yards on 12 rushing attempts. Remember that rushing average we were just talking about, Gerald? Look at that one now. 8.1 yards per carry as he gets his team back into the end zone for another touchdown. Chance to win on for another extra point try. Mark Salt to hold.
And Robert Redford is good for a long run in just about every game. Last week, he had a touchdown run of 51 yards. And this week, he had another long one.
45 already. Tomorrow, on Next Level Sports, the unbeaten Atlantis Swarm try to keep it that way. They go up against the Portland Fleet, who have a winning streak of their own and want to spoil the Swarm's dreams of a number 1 seed. Kickoff is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, only on NLSE. Next Level Sports. Get more. You know who's hoping that Portland loses that game? It's these Vancouver Legion, who share the Pacific Division with the Portland Fleet. Both teams currently sitting at 3-3 after, believe it or not, the entire division came off a loss in their last game. Portland lost their last one. Vancouver is on a 2-game losing streak. Seattle also lost their previous game, and LA has not yet found a win. But both Portland and Vancouver currently sitting up at the top of the Pacific Division. If Vancouver's able to hold on and win this one, and Portland is not able to beat Atlanta, they will take over that number 1 spot in the Pacific. Another offsides call. We've seen a few of them so far in this game.
Well, I think Vancouver's jumping off sides because they think they should be on the opposite end of the sideline. They're like, man, you look like us. You don't know. I need to jump over there, right? They're used to seeing those colors, from their own teammates.
I'm on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage.
I think they're confused.
Probably. It's all part of Max Paul's mind game. Yeah.
That's why that guy's like a 3-time champion, man.
Absolutely. So 1st down and 5, the elusive 1st down and 5 for Florida. As Beletsky gets the pass, gains 2. Brought down by Major Key. 2nd down and 3 as we hit the 6-minute mark here in the first half.
Yeah, and you mentioned that other matchup, right, between Atlanta and Portland. I do believe Portland actually technically leads the division over Vancouver because they did beat Vancouver. And
seeding-wise, they're currently in first,
Right, and Florida needs to win this game to keep pace with the undefeated Atlanta Swarm.
Another offsides penalty on Vancouver as the confusion continues. Beletsky gets more yards than the penalty would have netted, so I would expect this one to be declined. Another nice run by Beletsky as he continues to add on to his yardage total. Doesn't have huge yards yet in this one, but continuing to add them on. That one should put him up near the 35-yard mark on the day.
Yeah, and he's averaging, 7 yards a carry right now. And Redford's got 8 yards a carry.
Cochran to throw, wide open out route up top. Gets that one up to E.J. Minson. Minson catches that one that time. He'll gain 6.
Yeah. Second catch of the day. Had a drop earlier. But he's just got to get and they got to, move the ball a lot better now here, right? They just need to go down here and answer that Vancouver score.
Ball is handed off to Beletsky. He'll go nowhere on that one. 3rd down and 4. Do you want in-depth statistics all season long? Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. 3 receivers, a tight end, and a running back in the formation. Beletsky gets the handoff and gets the first down. Crosses into Vancouver territory. First down and 10 from the Vancouver 48-yard line. So Florida definitely wants to score. They're down, every team always wants to score. That goes without saying. Good job, Mike. 21-7 currently. Florida looking up at the Storm, but Vancouver's going to get the ball to start the second half. So it would behoove Florida to get some points on the board here on this drive. That nice pass over the middle is caught. Hauled in by Ron Haynes. First down at the 36.
Yeah, Ron Haynes, hauled that in. He had a defender right up underneath him. He tried to bat it from behind him, but good. Still good concentration by Ron Haynes. Not to lose his focus after the guy kind of got in the path of the ball there. Keep his focus on the ball and haul it in and inch closer, at least to field goal range, or even if they continue to try to put 6 up for their team.
Cochran to throw. Goes up top and nearly throws a pick 6. Michael Lister again. That's the second near pick 6 that he's had in this ball game.
Dude, they could have just took Florida and tossed them in the coffin, not quite putting any nails in it, but geez, if they'd have run that pick 6 back, they'd have put Florida down 20 to 21 points and make it extremely difficult for them.
Offset eye on 2nd down and 10. Cochran hands it off to the Bullet. Bullet does not fly as far as you would think a bullet would fly. Major Key gets the tackle. Beletsky up to 43 yards on the day. 3rd down and a long 9.
And Vancouver showing why they are so good against the run, only allowing, coming into this game, 56 rush yards per game. And they proved that also last week against, Randy Squarebush by only allowing him. I think he only had 30-something yards, 2-point-something yards a carry.
Florida 3 of 5 on 3rd down so far, and that one's picked off. You only can throw it Lister's way so many times before he's going to get one. He gets it there.
And you can watch him. I watch it on a second monitor, watching it real time and on a delay. And Lister had his eyes on Ron Cochran the whole time and dared him to throw it in that direction, and he did. And Lister said, "I'm not missing this one."
Michael Lister had a pick against your Louisiana Revolution last week. He gets another one tonight, his 2nd pick on the season. And Vancouver will take over at their own 29-yard line. 3:04 to go here in the first half. Brown to throw, quick pass over the middle, nearly gives it right back. Was trying to hit Brett Killian, but couldn't get it done.
Look, and Adrian Blake, he had it right there. If he went off balance, he might have been able to pull it down. Looked like he was on his heels trying to make that play. He just couldn't haul it in.
Second down and 10. As the clock stops, 3 minutes even. Christian Brown in the gun now. Low snap, Brown throws over the middle, and that one falls harmlessly to the turf. We've got an update from snowy Buffalo, New York. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios. Take it away.
Thanks, Mike. Dave Burr down the field to Mike St. Green, who was hurt earlier in the game, then re-entered, and that pass is popped up in the air and caught. Houston fumbled 2 plays later, then Queen City gave it back. It's one of those nights. Back to you guys at the eye.
I do not mind not being in that snow, Gerald. Snowing back home in Western New York, but down here in warm, sunny Florida, crazy things like that happen in snowy weather. Brett Killian with a nice catch here in the nice warm weather.
Yeah, we traded our Western New York area for this nice, sunny
I ain't going
Florida
back.
weather.
You can't make me.
Had our toes in the sand earlier today, enjoying it. Looking at the weather, it'd be 30 plus and 30 and lower with snowy weather. Yeah.
Brown deep down the right sideline, and it's nearly taken away. A dangerous pass. Ryan Davidson got his hands on the ball, was trying to get back to Justice Blackwell. He thought he had him beat again, not that time.
Yeah, Ryan Davidson says, yeah, I think I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm not going to worry about the run too much because they've been throwing it all over through the air through us. Got a couple of touchdown passes of 40-plus yards. So we need to make sure we actually pay attention to these wide receivers.
3 receiver set. Brown up top goes back to Blackwell. He's able to gain 8 on a second down, and 10 sets up a third and more manageable 2 as the clock stops with 2:19 to go. Meanwhile, in the chat, Christian Brown says, I think I should go with reckless abandon now, and that was right about the same time. He threw it deep and nearly had it picked off by Davidson.
I don't think
I'm not sure it's a good strategy. I'm like, what do I know? I'm just a broadcaster, but hey man, you do you. Now he's going to change the play on the field, so let's see what Brown comes up with on this one. Nothing, a 2-minute warning. That's what we'll come up with. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Vancouver 21, Florida 7. In possession of the football, they'll get it back to start the second half. They have an opportunity to maybe turn this into a 4-score game if they play their cards right.
Yeah, like if they can go down and get points and then come back and get points again, man, they get that double dip action right there.
But first, 3rd and 2.
Wow.
Brown. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Chris Curtis once again making it look easy. Touchdown, Vancouver. 3-score game.
3rd and short again. And Ryan Davidson gets caught looking in the backfield. You can see him leave. Peeked him right. They realize, oh, shoot, he's done past me. and Curtis has got 5+ yards on him, and it was just an easy pitch and catch for Christian Brown to Curtis.
So Chris Curtis has not been used very much in this game. He's only got 2 catches. What did they do? They both went for touchdowns and 111 total yards. His reception percentage, Gerald, is so high that it won't even fit on the stat line.
It just looks like a bunch of zeros.
Yeah, there's supposed to be 100 in there somewhere.
55.5 yards per catch.
That's a decent average. I mean, every
It's
time you can
pedestrian.
throw the ball more than half the football field and get a touchdown out of it, why not? Let's throw it to Chris Curtis, see what he can do.
Yeah, it's kind of a pedestrian type stats. It's not nothing.
I mean, I've seen
crazy
better.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he did get a 64-yard touchdown pass earlier today, so that 47-yarder is kind of nothing.
It's kind of paltry. He's only got 2 catches. I mean, what's that? 2 catches. I used to be able to make 2 catches in a game. No, not easily. I'd usually bobble them. They'd be picked off. It was chaos. But minute 49 to go in the first half. Florida with all 3 timeouts, looking way up at the scoreboard now as Vancouver out in front 28-7. Like I said, they've only lost 18 times at home ever out of their 173 previous games. So they do lose at home, just barely ever. But so far, I mean, look, the stats say it all. Everything has been going Vancouver's way.
In average yards per play, Vancouver doubles over Florida.
And another 6-yard play for Florida. 2nd down and 4, but in no particular hurry, and that kind of surprises me a little.
Yeah, I don't know if they did. I think at this point, even at home, I feel like they're just a little bit kind of shell-shocked, right? I mean, they just don't lose at home. They win 80% of their games. And a team like Vancouver, who is extremely good, I think both these teams, I mean, the records aren't any indication of how good that they are. There's offsides on that?
Oh, yeah. Vancouver doing Vancouver things and jumping off sides for the 376th time tonight, give or take. I believe that one will also be declined, and it will. Gerald Giudice, he just can't stay still. He's on that line, and boy, oh boy, is he ready to jump.
Yeah, and I can just see him, talking to, head coach Andy Hamilton saying, "Coach, they look like us. I can't take it. They look like us."
Hopefully, maybe they'll have like a conversation at the half where they'll say, "Okay, this is Florida. Do the little storm-looking thingy on the helmet. We don't want to go on that side until after the ball is snapped." We'll see. We'll see what happens. Verdon Zarkov gets his first catch of the day. Momentum will carry him out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, and they're not far from midfield, so they're 6 yards from midfield here. They got out of bounds, stopped the clock. They still have all 3 of their timeouts, so they are in a good position to be able to kind of inch themselves downfield, but they haven't shown anything as far as to go deep or to have any quick strike from their offense this year.
Cochran gets that one back out to Zarkov. Now they'll go into the hurry up. They still have all 3 timeouts. They don't have to go crazy here. Cochran gets this one out to Beletsky. Spins and only gains about 3 on the play. They'll spot him with 4. 50 seconds to go. Clock rolling.
Yeah, I would take a timeout right now.
Or at least after this next snap if it stays in bounds. Cochran throws it down to the bottom, heading towards the sideline, stepping out of bounds at the 36. Clock stops at 38 seconds. They're down in 2.
I'm not sure why the refs kind of stopped the clock there. I mean, his forward progress was stopped, and then he went backwards and then went out of bounds. But
that's what I saw, too. I was wondering. I looked back up at the clock and saw it was stopped. I was like, okay. A little hometown clock operator action going on, I think, but I digress.
Oh,
hey, look at that. Offsides Vancouver. Who would have thought that would have happened? First down pass is complete. But we'll see what the flag is. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's one of the defensive ends that kind of popped off there.
Oh, look at that. Offsides on the defensive line. We'll change it up a little bit. Achilles Papatonis, the guilty party. Gerald Giudice just shaking his finger at him like, how dare you jump off sides? That's not what we do.
Yeah, and then Papatonis says,
what do you mean?
Giudice, they look like us. What are you talking about? I'm getting confused.
I think that poor horse has been beaten to death. Pete is about to call and say you're desecrating the animal's corpse now. So
yeah, man.
2 backs in the backfield. 6 on the line for Vancouver. Oh, and Beletsky able to get something out of it. Gets up to the 21, and there we go with the first timeout. So Christian Brown's curious, Gerald, what your opinion of frog legs is.
I don't like eating them. No, I don't eat frog legs at all.
I'm thinking he's talking about eating frog legs. I think he's stereotyping.
He did.
Cajunness.
No. I think he did say this. Maybe it's National Frog Day. I seen him earlier in the chat. So maybe that's why everybody's jumping off.
Oh yeah, that could be. They should stop. Just my advice. Cochran over the middle, and that one's incomplete. Was trying to get that one out to Minson. Well covered, though. 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Major Key was right there to, right as the ball got to the receiver. He was there to just hit him and draw the ball loose.
Gabriel Womack, number 95 for Vancouver. The only one who hasn't jumped off sides yet. James Walters keeping track for us. Don't worry, there's still time. 3rd down and 4. Cochran alone in the backfield. Throws over the middle, and that one's incomplete. Threw it right into Earl Fields, the 4th's hands. And that will bring this drive to a close. Ethan Sneed on for a field goal try.
Yeah, and that was a missed opportunity right there for Florida, right? I mean, especially being down 21 points, you would have won a touchdown there, because here with 20 seconds left, hopefully you make this and you make it an 18-point game, but either way, with 20 seconds left, you're giving it back to Vancouver on this kickoff here, and it's unlikely that Vancouver will score, but Vancouver is going to get the ball at halftime.
38-yard field goal from the left hash is up, and it is good. Ethan Sneed, a perfect 11 of 11 on the season, and that will slightly cut into Vancouver's lead. 28-10 now here at the I.
Yeah, points are points, man. You can't leave them out there. So I mean, it's a good call for them to go ahead and kick it, but they just have to do something better with the pass offense, because they've surrendered 3 touchdowns of over 40 yards through the air, and that's unlike Florida, throughout the season thus far. Them allowing the least amount of passing yards per game.
Blackwell takes it from the goal line up to the 23. 13 seconds to go. They have all 3 timeouts as well, but with an 18-point lead, we'll probably just see what Redford can do with this one and then take it into the half, I would assume.
And it wouldn't.
Brown, 12 of 18 throughout the first half, 244 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Had a 44-yarder to Justice Blackwell, a 64-yarder to Chris Curtis, and then a 47-yarder as well. No, they're just going to keep on slinging it. Why not? After I read off his stats, he's like, that's not going to be my first half stats. Watch this. Tries to get it back out to James Walters. Missed him again. Walters only 1 catch on the day on 4 attempts.
I think Walters alligator armed it. I think he sensed that safety from the from the storm was right there to lay a hit on, so he kind of pulled his hands a little bit, prematurely into his chest in anticipation to protect himself. So I think that was a defender calls him the short on that one.
Christian Brown in the chat saying, let's go get our orange slices at the half. Christian Brown on the field says, no, man, we're going to keep on slinging this rock. 6 seconds to go, 3rd down and 6. Be ashamed to throw a pick 6 right now. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I would keep it on the ground with Redford. But, what do we know? Here they are. They come out in the spread formation. Doesn't mean they're not running, but they got 3 wide receivers out there.
Brown under center, 2 backs in the backfield, 3 receivers set. They're going to throw. Brown throws a short one. It's right into the hands of Stephen Black. Good thing he's a linebacker. 4th down, so they'll have to punt this one away. It's highly unlikely that Optimus Klein's going to be able to get a punt return touchdown here, but just saying, you left an opportunity. They came into this drive with 13 seconds to go, and now they're punting, and there's still time on the clock.
And what would be, terrible to happen is if, now that they're punting, if this punt happens to get blocked and Florida picks it up and goes in, it would
be terrible for Vancouver. Right. Be ironic, though. Be good for Florida. Punt is away. Klein's going to take it back at the 36. Breaks a couple of tackles. And everybody who's a Vancouver fan, their hearts just jumped the beat. But that's going to bring us into the half. Vancouver 28, Florida 10 through the first 2 quarters of action. And that is how the first half will come to a close. So somewhat lopsided Vancouver's way, both in score and stats. As we look at these first half stats and highlights, Gerald, your thoughts through the first 2 quarters?
I think it just comes down to the Vancouver defense, right? Just holding the Florida offense in check, and along with Vancouver getting those 3. I mean, all 4 of their touchdowns were of the long variety of 40-plus yards. You had 3 touchdown passes of 40-plus yards, and then you had Redford run for, I believe, a 45-yard touchdown run. So everything has been big plays for Vancouver, and they're able to execute whenever they're given the opportunity. Florida, on the other hand, hasn't had, that type of offensive output, right? So whenever they've been in there, they haven't been able to finish drives. They've had that one drive where it was kind of a long pass that was able to get, in there for a score. But other than that, they've only been able to produce a field goal. So if they are going to continue to play like that, it's going to make it tough for them to mount any kind of a comeback and get any momentum, even at home.
We'll have to see what they do here in the second half. Florida started off things with a promising-looking drive, won 8 plays, 27 yards, and they had to punt that one away. Vancouver responded with an 8-play, 99-yard drive. Took a little over 3 minutes, and were able to get that one in the end zone with a 44-yard touchdown pass. Florida would answer back 8 plays, 74 yards later. They'd have a 28-yard touchdown pass of their own. But Vancouver, not to be outdone, 64-yard touchdown pass, a 5-play, 75-yard drive. Scoring back and forth we would go. Florida would punt on their next possession. That would bring us to the end of quarter number 1. Vancouver got the ball back. 12 plays, another 99-yard drive. Can you believe it, Gerald? They had 2 99-yard drives in the first half alone. Florida would throw a pick on their next possession. Vancouver would capitalize on it. Points off turnovers, a 53-yard touchdown pass. Just big play after big play after big play. Florida would get that 38-yard field goal to bring us to the end of the first half. And that is how we got to 28-10 here at the I. Live from the I in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's Vancouver versus Florida. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Stephen Hacker and Ricky Robinson with us on Stats. Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios producing for us. Snowy weather back home in Western New York, but beautiful conditions down here in Florida, where I shall stay for the rest of my days. Let's get the second half started. Will I miss my family? Sure, the kids are great, but there's sand and beaches, all sorts of nice stuff. Kick return taken back up to the 22-yard line. That is where Vancouver will get things started. So, Brown, let's go over his first half stats again now that he's done throwing near interceptions at the end of the first half. 13 of 20 in the first half, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns. Quarterback rating still almost perfect, 147.5. Chris Curtis, his big target of the first half, only 2 catches, but 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brown's going to start off throwing once again. He wants to keep piling on the yards and nearly does, but that pass is incomplete. Tried to hit it to Hector Huxley. Second down.
Huxley almost had his first catch of the day for Vancouver, and he had his man beat, but the safety come over and hit him right in the ribs as he was extending for the ball to potentially bring it in. I definitely wouldn't bet it. If I take a shot like that, I'd drop that ball too.
I wouldn't even gone near the ball. I would have got scared and just turned and ran away.
Hey, you're a tight end.
Yeah.
You're like a tight end, like a gargantuan tight end.
Guys, I'm afraid of pain. I want to get hurt. There's a reason I retired, man. I can just sit up here in this cushy Florida booth. Brown to throw on second down. He just won't stop, and that one's picked off. Went to the well one too many times, and that one's taken away. Adrian Blaine with the pick.
And that is what Florida needed, right? Her teammate was able to tip it, and she was able to kind of pull it in. Did she get her feet in bounds?
I didn't think so, but the ref did. And that's really all that matters. They're not going to challenge that one. Adrian Blaine gets her 4th pick on the season and sets up her team with great starting field position.
And this is exactly what they needed right here.
And coming right out of the gate, running hard, Charlie Boletsky gets the ball up to the 19-yard line inside the red zone after that 11-yard rush.
Yeah, Boletsky, man, he's showing some flashes of how dynamic he can be. thus far as the second run, that was pretty impressive. But here they are, man. They got themselves inside the red zone, and they're in a very good position to kind of close this down to 2 scores.
First down and 10 from the 19. Cochran up top to Boletsky. He'll gain 5. Brought down at the 14-yard line by Marquise Reed. Second down.
Yeah, and Florida has to continue doing, some things like that as they get closer to the end zone. They need to be a little bit more selective and a little bit more safe with all their play calling. They don't want to take any chances of, putting themselves in danger of giving the ball back to Vancouver.
Boletsky tackled for a loss this time. Zach Lay getting him in the backfield. 3rd down and 7, sacrifices 2 yards on that one. Ron Cochran, currently 22 of 30, 168 yards, had a touchdown, had a pick in the first half. Leading receiver so far on the day, Stephen Bush, with 7 receptions for 63 yards, including that touchdown. See if they can capitalize more than a field goal off of this one. Cochran hit as he's getting ready to throw, brought down by Achilles Papatonis, sacked at the 19. And no, they won't be able to capitalize any more than a field goal, as that brings up a 4th down and 9.
God, it's such a missed opportunity, man.
Again.
Papatonis just came right in, and he took that inside shoulder of the left tackle on offense and just swam. He put a swim move on him, swam right past him, and was right on Cochran before he had a chance to get rid of the ball.
35-yard field goal try is up and through. Cuts into the lead, now 28-13. Still a 2-touchdown and a 2-point conversion deficit. So you talked about missed opportunities, Gerald. So Florida marching down the field before the end of the first half looked like they were going to potentially be able to get a touchdown, had to settle for a field goal. Now just got a pick, started at the Vancouver 30 and had to settle for another field goal. So it's 28-13, where it could have easily been 28-21 and back to a 1-score game.
Yep, and they have to put more points on the board, because Vancouver has shown them, man, that they can strike like quickly with all those explosive plays that they've had so far. They had 4 of them, and they have 4 touchdowns off of each of them.
Absolutely. Darn near a 50-yard touchdown pass, a 64-yarder, a 44-yarder, a 45-yard touchdown rush. Just big play after big play for Vancouver. So we'll see what they can do this time. I mean, the Florida defense made some adjustments, I think, the last time this offense was on the field. It was a tip drill play, and Adrian Blaine gets herself a pick. Anxious to get another one, I'm sure. Going right back up top, though, right where we left off. And Christian Brown gets it out to James Walters as we see a quarterback comparison. Brown obviously still way out in front in yardages and touchdowns, but now both quarterbacks with a pick.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of the opportunities that Florida defense in the passing game has given him, right? I think Florida got a little bit too lax with how confident that they are on the defensive side, especially in the pass. And it just seems like, they got, I don't say caught daydreaming, but they let a couple of huge passes get by him, and now they're behind by these, the score that they are.
Brown hands it off to Robert Redford. No gain on the play, 3rd down. Are you liking the game so far? You are if you're a Vancouver fan. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's nobody else that gives you more football than the SFL. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action. Help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership and keeping that drive alive. Justice Blackwell for Vancouver. 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Yeah, the most targeted wide receiver in the wide receiving core right here. He had to outstretch for it, but he was still able to pull it in and reset the downs. And here they are. They're not far from midfield, 15 yards from midfield, but most important part, they was able to reset the downs and keep control of the ball.
First down and 10. Redford takes the handoff. Can't gain anything on that one. Darn near 100 yards on the day, though, thanks in large part to that 45-yard rush. Still per carry, Gerald, but was not able to get anything going there.
Yeah, and I think what Florida might be starting to concentrate on, right, is trying to eliminate those explosive plays that Vancouver had. If they can do that, I mean, I don't think Vancouver has scored on thus far. Each huge play they had was a touchdown.
Christian Brown gets it out to Justice Blackwell, who now has 85 yards on 6 catches. Gained 6 on that one. 3rd down and 4 so far on the day. Vancouver 7 of 9 on 3rd down. Very good efficiency. Converted all of them in the first quarter, only missed the 2 in the second quarter. They've already got a 3rd down conversion on this one. On this 3rd down, throws it behind the line. Redford bobbles it, and it's incomplete. So Florida with another opportunity as their defense is able to get it done.
Redford had so much room out there, and I think he saw it too. He took his eyes off the ball and just bobbled it and couldn't reel it in. And Florida needs to take advantage of this, right? Because that was technically a gift by the Vancouver offense and Robert Redford by dropping that pass, because that was a for sure pickup of a 1st down. So they have to take that opportunity and turn it into something positive on offense for themselves.
Ryan Patrick punts this one away to Optimus Klein, takes it from about the 23 up to the 27. Lays on the turf to, I don't know, look up at the stars. We're not too sure. 1st down and 10 for the Storm. So we'll see if they can capitalize this time. If they're able to get a touchdown on this drive, we'd be back to a 1-score game. It's been pretty lopsided in Vancouver's favor so far. But Florida kind of clawing their way back into this one a little.
Yeah. I mean, they just gotta put points on the board and keep Vancouver's offense off the field.
Cochran deep over the middle, and he's got his target running down the field and being tackled at the 30-yard line. A huge gain for the Florida Storm. Art Vandelay getting in on the action.
Wow, that's the first time we call Art Vandelay's name tonight, and he's able to get himself like a post right there and get just beyond Mark Lopez. That doesn't happen very often. And a perfect throw by Ron Cochran. And he protect the ball just like he should, because you don't want to let that ball go, especially now that you got yourself in Vancouver territory and in field goal range.
In field goal range again. Oh, look. Offsides Vancouver. Going deep down the right side. Touchdown. That penalty ain't going to matter. Veridin Zarkov with the touchdown. And Vancouver able to capitalize this time. Extra point forthcoming, and then we've got a 1-score ball game, Gerald.
And that was the shot that you take. And Veridin Zarkov, he just ran like a go route right up the seam. I don't think anybody was ready for it for them to take a shot like that, but he's able to get beyond everybody. And Cochran, being a Hall of Famer he is, didn't miss his teammate. And now look where we are. We are a score away. Pinning this extra point is good. 8 points away, which is 1-score game, when we thought, hey, look, I mean, they were behind, like 3 scores just
it was
a couple of minutes ago.
I know. Hashtag throw it to the tight end. Veridin Zarkov with his 2nd touchdown reception on the season. The extra point is up and good. 28-20. Here we go. We got ourselves a ball game.
And this got interesting really fast, because Vancouver was in the driver's seat and somewhat dominating Florida. Their defense was dominating Florida's offense there, and here we are. And it happened so quick.
Ethan Sneed kicks this one away. Justice Blackwell takes it from the goal line and gets it up to the 25-yard line. Fun fact, Gerald, that last offsides penalty that ultimately did not matter was on Cabron Womack, the sole survivor of the defensive line who had not jumped offsides up until that point. I don't know if we're going to count that one because the penalty was declined, but now the whole defensive line's gotten a little jumpy tonight.
It happened. We have to count it. He felt.
We saw it with our own two eyes.
He felt left out. He's like, I can't be left out.
I want to do it. It's Frog Day or whatever. Redford trying to get the Legion back into it. Gets 4. That'll put him up to the 100-yard mark on the nose.
Right. So here we are. Look, and they're gonna have to go, and they're gonna have to do something, because their last couple of drives have just not been very good, right? Vancouver had an interception, then they went, about 7 plays, and then they had the punt and gave it right back. And Florida scored, pretty quick.
Brown down to the bottom. Blackwell, he'll get himself another catch. Having himself a day, up over 90 yards now. Getting up close to 100, trying to play catch up to Chris Curtis. Although Blackwell's got 95 yards on 7 receptions. Chris Curtis has 117 yards on 2.
Yeah, Chris Curtis, only throw it to me when I know I'm going to make a touchdown. Just
Yeah, I don't want to get hit. Just throw it to me when I'm going to be able to catch it and run all the way to the end zone untouched. His uniform still spotless white. Gets it over to the middle of the Blackwell, who's actually doing work tonight. He'll get the first down at the 48. Crossing midfield.
And I'm still wondering, when I'm going to see Chris Curtis score a touchdown and have some people in the end zone or in the stands in the back just pour, whipped cream in his mouth when he scores. That would be epic if that would ever happen.
It would be weird.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch the Monday Night Spectacular where Chris Curtis just get whipped cream sprayed in his mouth at halftime. You ain't see that?
I try to avoid that, just like Christian should have tried to avoid that sack. Can't do it. 2 defenders getting to him pretty quick. As the first sack allowed for Vancouver. Alex Dominguez, go figure, the all-time sack leader in the SFL. How many does he have now? 3,700. It's probably less than that. 218 and a half sacks on Alex Dominguez's illustrious career. Big Sexy is what they call him.
Yeah, man. If you see that guy coming to you, you're in trouble. You're going down if he's got you in his sights.
Brown over the middle makes up for that sack yardage and then some. Justice Blackwell about to get double-digit receptions, 9 for 127 and a touchdown. Vancouver had almost 350 yards of offense in the first half. Had just under 50 yards here in the third quarter. That pushes them up over that number, but struggling to get things going. But finally in Florida territory and knocking on the door of scoring position.
Right. And they're actually, I do believe they're actually in chance to win range as well.
Redford almost lost some yards, but instead turns what could have been a loss into a nice gain. Breaks a tackle, spins past a couple of defenders, gains 8.
And just when you think, hey, Florida's got something happening, man, Vancouver just kind of starts just yeah, man, we kind of let you guys catch up a little bit. It's time for us to stop playing games and start moving the ball because we need points. We need to make sure that we try and get this 4th win on the season and end this losing streak.
Redford that time, he'll get hit in the backfield. Falls back to the line of scrimmage, though. Brought down by Deontay Stoneville. A little slow to get up, too. 3rd down and 2.
He's got himself, about 20 touches thus far in the game. He might be getting a little bit tired.
And sore, I would imagine. I can't even imagine being halfback. Well, just run into the end zone untouched, why don't you? Well, he'll get tackled at the 11, but he ain't get hit for the first 10+ yards.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm not tired or gassed. You can give me my 20th touch of the day, and I'll just take it for a nice 15-yard gain and show you that hey, look, I can get banged in the ribs. It don't matter. I'm all good to go. I'm here to win it.
James Walters looking for a possible touchdown catch. Out on the field with his hand in the grass. 2 catches, 28 yards. They go back to him. And once again, they go to James Walters, and he's not able to corral that one in. 2 of 6.
Hit him right in the chest. I don't know how he missed it. Hit him right in the chest and bounced off. That's especially guys of this caliber and talent here, man. You just don't see them drop passes like that.
I've seen a few of them tonight too. I don't know if this warm weather is affecting the Canadian team. They're not used to throwing in such nice conditions. Where's the snow? Brown down to the bottom. Gets it to Walters into the end zone. Redemption has been achieved. Touchdown, Vancouver.
Right? He's like, this one's going to get to my chest, but I'm going to catch it and bring it in and spin around and just cut right up and put my team back up by 2 scores.
James Walters in the chat. What's going on with those hands? I'm not a linebacker. Stop playing like one then. Gets a touchdown on that catch. 34-20. Vancouver back out to their 2-score lead. Extra point coming up. And Florida once again going to have some ground to make up. Extra point is up and good. 2:03 left to go here in the third quarter. Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp, and the Impact Monday crew head to D.C. this week, where the Dragons will welcome in one of Season 20's top teams, the Arizona Scorpions. Will D.C. be able to pull off the upset and turn its season around? This week in the SFL pregame starts at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time before Arizona and D.C. will kick off at 8:15 p.m. right here on SFL YouTube. Kick taken back up to the 23-yard line. And that's where Florida will once again take back over on offense. Last time Florida had the ball, it only took 2 plays to go 73 yards. That 30-yard touchdown pass, able to get some points on the board. Before that, a 5-play, 12-yard drive with a 35-yard field goal. They had an 11-play, 53-yard drive with a 38-yard field goal. 3 scoring drives in a row. Can they keep that going? Charlie the Bullet Boletsky with 4 yards on the first snap. So we see another quarterback comparison. Brown with 4 passing touchdowns already.
Yeah, and and both quarterbacks are doing pretty well right now too. But man, Brown, just throwing for well over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's just something you just haven't seen since week 1 against a Florida defense.
On Cochran to throw up top, wide open on a deep out route. That one good for a gain of about 17 up to the 34.
I don't want to make it seem like it's time's running out on Florida, right? Because we still got a minute left in the third quarter and the whole fourth quarter. But if they can consistently put together drives, but they're going to have a stop on defense to stop Vancouver from putting up touchdowns.
I say 17, I'm at 7 as that pass is incomplete. Batted down. Some more good swatting linebacker play by Earl Fields IV. Linebackers might not be able to catch Gerald, but they can swat like the best of them.
Oh yeah, I got one there in Louisiana, man. He can't catch the ball to save his life, and bought him 6 different jug machines. Hey, take it home, practice with your kids or something. But he still can't catch it to save his life. But he could bat it down with the best of them.
Cochran down to Boletsky once again. Able to gain 7. Will set up a third down and a manageable 3 yards as the final minute continues to tick away here in quarter number 3.
And Florida's look, Rod Conker's doing what he can right there, man. But they just got to move it. They just got to eliminate, and go down and score, man. You just can't punt. Look at this.
Oh, there we go. Boletsky able to kind of sidestep his way up to the 44-yard line, gets the first down, and it'll keep the drive alive, which is absolutely what they needed. Not sure they'll get another snap off. I think that will bring us into the fourth quarter.
Yep, and then we're going to run it fourth quarter, them down 2 scores.
See those 4s up in the chat. 3 quarters in the books. 11-minute reigns here from the Eye in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Legion 35. Florida 20. Watching Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith, Stephen Hacker, Ricky Robinson on stats, Cameron Irvine back in cozy SFL headquarters. Looking all slick with that majestic haircut. Charlie Boletsky continuing to do work. Gains up to midfield. We've got another update from ice cold snowy Buffalo. Cameron Irvine, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. Chris Curtis and
Brett Killian chasing D.R. Sim, and they're going to keep chasing him. 3 touchdowns on 4 receptions tonight. Houston leads 35-0, and Queen City has officially hit rock bottom. Back to you guys in Florida.
Not a good look for Buffalo. That O has got to go.
I think the snow has got to go too, because maybe that's keeping them a little bit bogged down. But I guess Houston doesn't have an excuse either, because they don't play anywhere near snow.
They do not. They
It's
play
hot
down
in Texas.
Yeah, they play down in Stephen Hackerland down there in Texas. Cochran on 3rd down and 2, trying to keep the drive alive again, and he does. Gets it out across the middle. Sheridan Zarkov with another catch. Cochran back into triple-digit quarterback rating territory. He was suffering there for a little bit, but keeps it going.
Yeah, and here they are. They're going on their 9th play of the drive right here and keeping it going, right? They're just going down. It's them just taking, the way that they've been doing right here. Keep going down, and however you get it done, just get down there and get you a touchdown.
Short throw over the middle, good for a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. Ron Cochran, 28 of 37, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, completing 75% of his passes. He's been efficient. He does have that 1 interception, but that was long ago at this point. Although Vancouver did capitalize off of that, turned it into points off turnovers. So trying to keep that ball safe.
Wow.
Nice safe pitch and catch. Getting it back out to Zarkov again. Gets the 1st down inside the red zone.
Zarkov with a vicious stiff arm to Major Key's chest right there. Just pushes the guy down to get himself extra 4 or 5 yards right at the end of that play and get his team, ever so closer to the end zone right here. I think they're right inside the red zone.
Ron Cochran in the gun, 2 receivers out to the left. Pair of tight ends down to the right. And he throws it about 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Zarkov comes back to the line of scrimmage. Marquise Reed gets the tackle, and effectively nothing happened.
Yeah, I think Zarkov was anticipating getting hit right after he caught the ball, but had a little bit of time and kind of, started ducking and just couldn't get himself turned around quick enough to pick up any positive yards. But, he's back at the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 10.
2 backs in the backfield now. Vancouver staying on their own side of the line of scrimmage. Good job. Gain of 1 on the play will bring up a 3rd down and 9. This is not the time to settle for field goals anymore. Down 2 touchdowns and then some.
And some may think it's early, but I really do think right here you are in 4 down territory. I would play this
agree.
if I'm a coach. I would play this at, hey, we got 2 plays. If we pick up 5, good. If we have it deep enough to pick up the 1st down, we can get that too. But, play it as if you have 2 downs left right here.
Cochran's going to go for the end zone. He's going to get it. Touchdown, Florida. And they're right back into it.
And who else but the least utilized guy on the field right now, and Art Vandelay, finds us, an open pocket right over the middle in a smaller post. It's like they forgot about him. He was able to hold on to it, even getting hit as he was bringing it in.
So Florida.
Do you go for 2 here?
I would, just to get it out of the way, but a lot of people say don't go for 2 until you have to. I mean, I would argue that you have to now, because if you go for it, I guess if you go for it now and you don't get it, it's still a 2-score game, but then at least you know what the situation is. All right, cool. We got a 2-score game. We got to get this ball back even quicker than we had hoped. But, I digress. What do I know? Extra point is up and good. 1-score ball game now. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect track for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. A dark day in Florida Storm history back in Season 9, July 16th, 2017. The Sioux Falls Sparrows visited the then Alaska Storm and allowed Sioux Falls to put up 38 points. They lost that game 38-27. Why is that a dark day? That's the most points they have ever surrendered at home in franchise history. But don't look now, Gerald. Vancouver's got the ball, and they've got 35 points on the board, and they're looking to break that record. They want to make this game be the one that Florida surrenders the most points at home. And it could start right on this drive. Brown throws on the run, gets the first down to the 38.
And nice move up in the pocket to find your wide receiver. He just leaked out right over the middle. Everybody else went fairly deep. And so did the DBs in the passing formation that Vancouver had. So you're just able to find that little pocket like right in front of the linebackers and get himself in a position to get a first down.
Christian Brown over 300 passing yards. Actually, both quarterbacks over 300 passing yards on the day. 21-32, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Looking for touchdown number 5 on this drive to extend their lead. Gets it out to Redford. Will gain 3, second down.
Yeah, man, Florida's going to have to start, not that they're in any, immediate danger right now, of not stopping Vancouver, but, Vancouver has been able to answer the scores by Florida, especially in late third, early fourth, to keep themselves ahead. So, Florida's going to have to start stiffening up on defense right here.
Over 800 yards, all-purpose offense for both of these teams. And Robert Redford just adding them on however he can. Sidesteps, jukes, shuffles, you name it. Gets into Florida territory, gets a first down.
Yeah, I seen Florida line up in that 3-4 defense, and I'm like, man, if they run up the middle, they might be outmanned. And look at the people. When you have offensive linemen, running 6 and 7 and 8 yards down the field to get blocks, that's not good for your defense right there. So, and Redford hit the holes, and he just had one more tackle to break, and it could have been, almost over right there for Florida, but he was able to grab him from behind and hopefully try and shut this drive down.
19 for 139 for Redford on the ground. Gets another one through the air, second down and 8. Also back in season 9, Gerald, worth mentioning, October 1st, 2017, Vancouver Legion were playing Florida, Alaska, whoever, playing the Storm on the road in Alaska, and Vancouver would win that one 37-22. That was the largest margin of defeat that the Florida Storm have ever given up at home, a 15-point margin. And wow, Brett Killian getting that catch up to the 34. Vancouver's trying to beat that too. They want to score the most points that Florida's ever let up at home and give them the biggest margin of defeat at home, all in the same shot, breaking their own old record.
Yeah, and
5 years later.
Right, and it seems like Vancouver, right? It felt like they let one slip away last week against Louisiana, and here they are, right? They're actually putting up points, to have themselves in a situation where they won't have to worry about, some sort of a comeback in the last minute of the game.
Redford gains 3 on first down. So we tick down to the 5-minute mark here in Fort Lauderdale. 4 wide receiver set on second down. Brown to throw. Has all kinds of time and ends up throwing short to Killian. Killian's able to gain 6. Sets up a 3rd down and 1 at the Florida 25. So already well within field goal range. And, Vancouver would be, I don't know if happy would be the word, but satisfied. They'd be satisfied to get a field goal out of this. It's an 8-point ball game. Why not make it an 11?
Yeah, I think head coach Andy Hamilton, right, is telling them, hey, look, don't, especially telling, Christian Brown, especially in the passing game, hey man, don't take any chances, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we got them where we want them.
They hand it off to Redford. They were 8 of 11 on 3rd down, now 8 of 12. As Florida's defense is able to get it done, but still, a long field goal try coming up. This one will be from about 44 yards out, but still very makeable for a chance to win. Mark Salt on to hold for Vancouver.
Yeah, this is one he'd made many times throughout the season, especially from this range.
perfect on the season so far. 13 of 13 gets this one up, gets that one through officially from 43 yards out. 38-27, 11.2 score ball game, 4:03 to go, and Florida now looking back up at the scoreboard, seeing that 2-score deficit.
Yeah, and I would expect Florida to be, to come out and actually do a hurry up, a lot of tempo type offense. I mean, they're really not in a chance where they have to chuck it downfield, right, to try and get, all the, a score in one play. But the opportunity is there, take it. But, I mean, you got to get yourself enough yards, 10, 12-yard routes, right, by your guys to put yourself in a situation where you can mark down the field quickly. That way, when you have to give it back to Vancouver in the event that you score, you have some time left where you can go down and score to potentially tie the game. But you got to go down and score here, and you got to get a stop.
That record-setting home loss that I mentioned earlier on back in Season 9 against Sioux Falls was 38-27. Ominously exactly what's on the scoreboard now. Ron Cochran looking to change that, though. He's in the gun. Throws a deep shot over the middle, has his target, and is already up at midfield. They'll go into the hurry-up, no doubt. They want to try to save these timeouts.
Right, and here they are, just one play from scrimmage, after kickoff, and they're in Vancouver territory.
Another shot over the middle. Splitting triple coverage, E.J. Minson getting the catch, already in field goal range, and a field goal wouldn't even be the worst thing on this drive if it comes down to it. Save the time, get the points, make it a one-score game. Cochran looks, throws once again over the middle, definitely in field goal range now as they're inside the red zone. Gets it down to the 18-yard line. Continuing the hurry up, Optimus Klein finally getting a catch. Low snap, fires over the middle. Back-to-back passes to Klein. First down and goal from the 7. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and they need to be careful with their pass selections here.
They can throw it short to the wide open Veridin Zarkov. Second and goal from the 1. And Vancouver lining up offsides. All right, there you go. That's your side of the field, young man. Cochran takes the snap, looks, fires, end zone, and it's incomplete. Third down and goal. He's trying to get it to Stephen Bush.
Stephen, he had it in his hands. That was a touchdown. And some, refs in the SFL, right? If you get possession really quickly and then you drop it like that, sometimes they call it a score and touchdown. But this one, I guess they figured he didn't have possession long enough to be able to, consider it a catch. So here we are, third and goal from the 1.
47 passes from Cochran. Good for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here comes pass 48. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Florida. They get the score.
And Stephen Bush did not drop that one. He got to the back. It seemed like, they ran that bunch, and he just ran straight to the back of the end zone. And it seemed like the defenders just lost him, like they didn't know he was. They were expecting him to go short, but he ran straight to the... Oh, no. Mark Lopez's teammate bumped him off of his coverage and left Stephen Bush open. Wow. Now you go for 2.
Yeah, now you go for 2. You want to turn this into a field goal game. So this will be the difference between if they can tie it with a field goal or if they need that touchdown to get the win. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Cochran looks, has all kinds of time. He could just run it in himself almost. Running out of things to say, Cochran. He gets the pass off, and it's complete. Optimus Klein gets the 2-point conversion. We got a 3-point ball game.
I can just almost hear Cochran in the backfield yelling at Klein to run across the field. Somebody get open. And then I saw Klein just zipping across the front of the end zone, and Cochran was able to find him and hit him open. Wow.
Now here's something I wouldn't do, and that's
This
an
is
onside
not a
kick.
good.
I'd kick it deep.
This is not. Yeah, this is not a good choice.
This is what oftentimes will happen with under 4 to go. Easily recovered by the Vancouver Legion, scooped right up by Michael Lister, and Vancouver about 5 yards away from field goal range already. But listen, now that that's a 3-point ball game, all they need to do is get this ball back without sacrificing more than a field goal. They've got all 3 timeouts. They've got the 2-minute warning, so they can stop the clock 4 more times before this ball game comes to a close. They're not out of it, but it's up to the defense now. For Vancouver, they're going to hand it off to Robert Redford. And that'll probably bring us down to the 2-minute warning. Robert Redford, 139 yards, 6.3 per carry. He's having himself quite a ball game.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned, Toma Elos, him really getting much of a stat line here, but that was an excellent tackle from behind to tackle Robert Redford right at the line of scrimmage, because if he misses that tackle, Robert Redford has at least 5.
2 minutes to go here in Florida. Vancouver out in front, 38-35. They've got possession of the football. Those 2 guys on the sideline look like identical twins. Not sure how that's relevant, but that's what came to mind. 2nd down and 10. See how this one finishes up. Another exciting ball game, Gerald. Robert Redford gets the handoff, immediately wrapped up and brought down. Alex Dominguez, he's more than just a sack machine. He gets tackles too. First timeout called by Florida, 2 remaining.
Sack is technically a tackle as well, I think.
Well,
right?
Okay, Mr. Statistician.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So, Vancouver, I mean, what do you do? Do you pass here or do you run?
I'd throw it, and I'd force this drive to keep going and force Florida to keep using timeouts. But his momentum carries him out of bounds. Justice Blackwell gets the catch, gets 5 yards. He needed 7. But from the 31-yard line, chance to win onto the field for a long field goal try. And this, if this is good, this will be the most points Florida has ever allowed at home.
Wait,
No,
what
they're
is
gonna
this?
They're going to keep the offense out. They just want to win this now. Are they looking for Florida to jump, or are they just?
I think so.
Yeah, and you know what? Why not? Why not? I don't dislike that at all. Keep your offense out there. See if you can get Florida to make a mistake, even though it's been Vancouver jumping off sides all game long. But hey, worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, look, Vancouver, I think they know at this point, hey, look, we're ahead. We make this field goal. They got to go down and they got to score a touchdown to even to tie us, and then an extra point to beat us. So, they're chances are they'd like, hey, look, we're not going to use those timeouts anyway. It's a very slim stuff. They trust in their defense, put these 3 points on the board, force Florida to have to score a touchdown. Because if they don't get that on 4th down, that Florida's going to get the ball in really good field position, and all they need is a field goal to tie.
Low snap, almost blocked. Kick is on its way, and it is good from 47. Vancouver puts up 41 points, the most ever allowed against a Florida or Alaska team. A Max Paul team, we'll just call it that. Most ever allowed against a Max Paul team at home, 41 points. So whether they get the win or not, an impressive day from Vancouver. But an impressive day is not what head coach Andy Hamilton's looking for. He's looking for win number 4. Get back into that win column after losing two straight games.
What happened?
Deep kick. Must have been taken by this 3-mile-an-hour wind. But gets the ball, gets it up to the he just bumped into his own man. I don't know. He just there's 2 guys back there. I don't know. Maybe somebody else thought they were going to return that one. He bumped into him. Goodness gracious me. All right, so Florida, they're down by 6. So if they get the touchdown here, the extra point could win it for them. If they turn it over, it's all but done. Ron Cochran in the gun. 38 of 48, 380 yards. Can he keep it going here? Deep pass over the middle. He's over 400. And Florida burns their second timeout. 1st down and 10. Their own 46.
Yeah, and look, and you getting near midfield on your first play from scrimmage, I don't know if I take a timeout there. I just don't know that I do it, right? Like, you have yourself in really good position.
Yeah.
Because I think if you... Yeah, because they had really good success running that formation against the Vancouver defense on their previous drive, which got them down in range to be able to score a touchdown.
Rochelle Colston in the chat saying, how's that snow, Gerald? We are in lovely, warm Florida, and we're not going back. So that's how that snow is. It's far, far away. Wink, wink. Cochran in the gun now. 4 wide receiver set. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Cochran goes down to the right. Getting the catch, but out of bounds. Apparently Stephen Bush on back-to-back receptions. Can't get that one in.
Yeah, I think Cochran waited a split second too long to be able to have his receiver not run out of bounds. He did all he could do. Stephen Bush tried to keep his feet in there, but he just couldn't keep it in.
Cochran over 400 yards, now 50 pass attempts. His arm's got to be tight. Here comes 51, deep down the left-hand side, jumping and incomplete. I thought he had it, but Zach Lay had something to say about it. 3rd down and 10.
I didn't think Zach Lay had the ups to knock that ball down, but he proved me wrong. I was yelling over here. I thought E.J. Minson had a catch, and he was going to run it in.
Me too. I thought he was gone. I actually think that Lay swatted that down behind his head. I think he's reached blindly behind him like, oh, I hope I hit a ball, and he actually did it. 3rd down and 10. You don't have to get the first here. It'd certainly be beneficial, though. Cochran's going to go for it all. He gets the catch, running into the end zone. Stephen Bush, touchdown, Florida.
And what do? They call the exact same play, but flip it to the other side and said, hey, we're going to come over here and we're going to pick on Major Key on this side. And he threw it, and he was able to get it over the head of Major Key. Stephen Bush didn't have to do much, but just give a little hop to catch it and bring it down. And he runs the extra 30 yards for a touchdown to tie the ball game, pending to put his team in the lead with the extra point.
41-41. Ethan Sneed on for a field goal try. It was 28-7 at one point in this ball game in Vancouver's favor. And with that catch, Ron Cochran, with 450 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, gets his team the opportunity to take the lead, but still 1:25 to go. Low snap, and the kick is up, and it is good. Vancouver defender had a chance to block that one, but
he stopped.
Kind of stopped there. 42-41. But see, Gerald, we talked about it. Well, you mentioned it right after that first play of that drive, where they had that deep pass to midfield, and then what did they do? They called a timeout. And that timeout's part of the reason that there's 1:25 still on the clock. I would have let it run more. You've left Vancouver with a lot of time when all they need is a field goal.
Right, and they called it, and it was only 15 seconds of game time ran off, because whenever they did that, it was about 1:40 left on the clock when they called that timeout. They've only used around 15 seconds of game time, and now Vancouver has, 1:20 to go down with 2 timeouts to get a field goal.
Yeah. They've got chance to win on their side of the field as well. I mean, both of these kickers having phenomenal seasons. Neither one has missed a kick yet. Christian Brown with a deep drop. Pressure on its way, and he actually gets the pass off and complete to Hector Huxley. And one play, they're already up to their own 45-yard line. Only, I think they only need 20 yards, and they can kick a field goal.
Yeah, and what a way for Hector Huxley to get his first catch of the game, to know that his quarterback in some danger of getting sacked, and he was able to get himself open in the line of sight for Christian Brown to be able to notice him and get the ball out before he got sacked.
Huxley back to the sideline. 4 other wide receivers on the field and a tight end. Christian Brown in the gun. Brown steps up, throws over the middle. That one's caught. Gets it up to the 44-yard line. They'll go into the hurry-up.
And that's Walters.
Saving those 2 timeouts. Walters with the catch. Brown back over the middle, and just like that, they're in field goal range on the outskirts of it. Gets it to the 33. Justice Blackwell, the workhorse.
Yeah, and they're making it look easy right now.
Brown, another quick pass, well in field goal range. They've got it down to the 20-yard line. And another timeout called. Florida burns their final.
Yeah, Vancouver, here we are, and that was the 3rd or 4th play of this drive right here for them to be able just go down and look, and they made it look extremely easy to go down, and that was their fourth play, and like it was nothing. And here we are, right? Just like like you said earlier, with 100, with 1 minute and 20 seconds left when Vancouver had gotten the ball. If Florida had let the clock run a little bit and managed the time a little bit better, we might not even be in this particular situation.
Robert Redford going to get some handoffs now just to help tick away some of the rest of this clock. 144 yards on 24 carries. Potential player of the game right there, although I don't know. Christian Brown over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. He makes a good case as well. Or I don't know, Chris Curtis, 3 receptions for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. This Vancouver offense has been absolutely electric. Justice Blackwell, double-digit receptions over 100 yards. He's got a touchdown. And they're seconds away from getting the win. Robert Redford spins again. Vancouver will burn their final timeout here in a few seconds and kick the game-winning field goal.
Let it go down to 3 and call it.
Timeout called with 3 seconds. And chance to win. Coming out onto the field for what would be the game winner. If he makes it, 44 points. Be the most high-scoring defeat at home for Florida. But, man, did they put up a fight. 28-7 at one point. And they ended up putting up 42 points. Held the lead all the way until the final 3 seconds. A 29-yard field goal try for the win from the right hash. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. Time has expired, and it is good. Vancouver comes back from behind in the final minute 25 to get the win, 44-42 here in Florida. Gerald, we talked about it in the opening. We thought it might be a playoff-type atmosphere, and it did not disappoint. 44-42. That's 86 points. See how I did the math there, Gerald?
Math. Love it.
Post-game show as we see the final stats and highlights. Gerald, your final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, coming into this game, I didn't think we were even going to see over 1,000 yards of offense between both teams, with the defense that they came in and each of them having, like top 5 overall defenses and everything else. So, but that's what we ended up getting, right? It ended up being a shootout right toward the end. Florida clawed back and was able to get themselves in a situation to win the game. But I think that their clock management kind of came back to bite them a bit. And Vancouver had plenty enough time and the timeouts to go down, and they managed to time really well to go there and get themselves in a situation to kick a field goal to win. And look, that's all they asked for, Vancouver, a chance to win. And guess who kicked them to the victory? Their kicker, chance to win. So, and here they are with their 4th win. They're in their 2-game losing streak, and Florida now is sitting at 5 losses on the season. Hey, and they're in danger of getting themselves, with another loss or 2 on the outside looking in at any chance at the playoffs. So, and that's kind of difficult to say with a Florida team with the kind of history and that they had over these years. But I thought defense would be the story. Wasn't quite the story of the game. It ended up being the offenses that came through and showed up, and last team to have the ball won.
Florida has played in this league for 12 seasons before this one. They've only not made the playoffs 1 time. Vancouver will improve to 4-3 on the season. Florida will fall to 2-5. Next up for the Vancouver Legion on Saturday, March 11th, they will be back home in Canada, take on Indianapolis. For Florida, they'll hit the road on Sunday, March 12th. They head to Sioux Falls to take on the Sparrows. Coming up next, there's more football tonight, Gerald. It's late, but it's not too late for some Friday night football. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Minnesota at Seattle. Chris Curtis, Mark Lopez on the call. And at 10:45, 15 minutes later, Charleston at San Diego with Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg. A whole host of games tomorrow. 6 of them, in fact, at 1 p.m. Canton at Mexico City. At 1:15, Sioux Falls at Los Angeles. And then a little bit of a break before the evening comes around for some more football. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Portland at Atlanta, 6:45. Jacksonville at Indianapolis at 9 p.m. Louisiana at Tulsa. And at 9:15, Motor City, Alamo City. Player of the game, Christian Brown, 411 yards, 30 passes caught, 4 touchdowns, triple-digit quarterback rating. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on YouTube. Final score, Vancouver 44, Florida 42. For Gerald Smith, Stephen Hacker, Ricky Robinson, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit, I'm Mike Diag saying thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy, everybody. Have a great night.